Now available for pre-order on Kindle. Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Pre-order your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Kindle today. One of my Canadian viewers wanted me to talk about Corey Fenn. Now, your Corey Fenn is on trial in Canada for the alleged murder of an Ajax, Toronto woman who your Corey Fenn allegedly murdered along with her 2 teenage children. Now, in this incident that took place on March 2018, it is alleged by the Crown that your Corey Fenn wound up murdering the 39-year-old Carissima Pekajanowski, her 13-year-old daughter Vanilia, and her 15-year-old son Roy after your Carissima told your Corey Fenn that she was breaking up with her. And according to reports from the Crown, your Corey Fenn allegedly wound up exploding in a rage where he wound up stabbing the Carissima and Vanilia and then wound up strangling Roy. Now, your Corey Fenn, again, is on trial right now, and the police and law enforcement see this as an isolated incident. But when I take a critical examination of this series of tragic events, they fit right in line with the pattern and profile I talk about regarding beta males that I detail in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me from the details of the reports from the Crown's police reports that your Corey Fenn definitely is one of these beta males that I detail all of the dysfunctional behavior that they participate in my book, The Man Crisis. And your Corey Fenn clearly was one of these beta males who just really did not know how to go out here and have a relationship with a woman. And I detail that in the chapter about how beta males have a hard time with women in The Man Crisis. And that's because many of your beta males are not looking for an interdependent relationship. No, they are looking for a codependent relationship. And that is probably why your Corey Fenn went out here and chose to get involved with a single mother instead of going out here and pursuing a relationship with a childless woman. Now, a young man usually wants to go out here and get involved with a childless woman because they are looking to be the head of household and they're looking to be the leader in the relationship. But beta males are not looking to be the leader in a relationship. No, beta males are looking to be a follower in a relationship. And they're looking for a female authority figure to be their leader. And that is probably why your Corey Fenn, a 33-year-old young man, decided to go out here and pursue an older woman who already had 2 children. He was looking not to be a man who was looking to go out here and build his own family and build his own household. No, he was looking to be a surrogate child inside of an already established family. And that's something that beta males look to do because, again, they look to go from their mother's house to the woman's house, and they're looking for the woman to be their second mommy. And when your Carissima eventually probably got tired of taking care of this overgrown child, this is when she probably just decided to end this relationship, and that's what led to this 33-year-old man winding up exploding in a rage, because a lot of these kind of guys, they look to be, again, taken care of by the woman like a mother, and they look to be able to sit there and be in the woman's house fooling around doing absolutely nothing, because according to reports, he said that he was in a state of cocaine psychosis. But I believe this man was enabled in his dysfunctional behavior for many years by this woman, because beta males oftentimes look for women that can take care of them, because many of these men fear going out into the real world and being men and taking responsibility for themselves. So they go out here and they look for a woman to attach an emotional hose to, and they look to have that woman basically take care of them inside of the codependent relationship they have established, where she has all of the power, she makes all of the choices, and he just sits in the background, again, like another child. And that kind of relationship over time can be extremely frustrating for a woman to be involved in, because she's looking for the man to be a head of household, and she's looking for the man to set direction and tone for the family. But this man was not looking to set any sort of tone in any way or shape or form. He basically was in a rose-colored fantasy where he was sitting in this house doing drugs and then trying to talk about how he's a sovereign king. And again, he's representing himself in court, making these kind of statements, showing me how he's just caught up in his delusions, because a lot of beta males, they become extremely delusional and they live in their rose-colored fantasies, and because they don't want to deal with reality, this is one of the reasons why people eventually get tired of dealing with this beta male, who basically is, again, like an overgrown teenage child sitting up in your house. And this woman probably was the only one working in the home, and she's probably the only one doing anything in the house. And this man probably saw that he was going to be in an extremely bad situation, because probably things between her and her children were deteriorating with this man, and he saw that he was going to be homeless on the street, because usually what happens to guys like this is that the woman eventually, after becoming so overwhelmed and so frustrated about having to deal with a baby boy in their home, they eventually want to put this man out of the house. And when these guys wind up being told that they're going to get put out of the house, that's when they wind up exploding in a rage, because they have no place to stay, no place to sit up and take drugs, and no place to sit up in somebody's sofa all day. So because they believe their lives are being destroyed, they believe they have justification to go out here and murder the person who they were staying with. And this is probably what happened in this alleged case, where this man wound up committing the murder of this woman. He probably, after being told that she was breaking up with him, sat there, simmered and boiled in anger, then hours later exploded in this rage, and then wound up murdering this woman, and then murdering her daughter and her teenage son, and then wants to sit there and talk about how it was the cocaine that led to him doing this. No, this was never about the cocaine. No, in the case of this white Pookie, it was all about him being told that he was going to have to take responsibility for himself. So that's what made him angry, is he had to go out here and finally be a man and be able to take care of his own business. And he couldn't take care of his own business, so he decided to destroy the lives of all three of these innocent people, because he could not go out here and be the man he was supposed to be. Now, in the aftermath of this murder, he's trying to play crazy by being his own attorney, and that's going to wind up blowing up in his face when it comes down to the crown. So this guy is on the road to possibly winding up in jail with 3 consecutive life sentences with no parole. And what's going to happen to him after murdering this woman and her children is he's on his way to the penitentiary, where they're going to turn that tight end into a wide receiver as they trade that booty for some Little Debbie snack cakes, or some Fritos chips, or whatever Canadian commissary snacks that they have, and some ramen noodles, which are universal to your prison. So that is the final fate of this beta male, who could not take care of himself, he's going to be taken care of by the state for the rest of his life, and he's going to lose his freedom, all because he got caught up in his feelings over being told by a female that she wanted nothing to do with him, after seeing that she got involved with a lemon of a male who was in no way, shape, or form capable of being a man. And this is the kind of male that is extremely dangerous to get involved with, because these are the kind of guys who don't know how to take responsibility for themselves. And yes, they'll come across as very charming and very friendly in the beginning, but when it's time for this male to step up and be a man, he's not going to be capable of doing that. And what these guys do is, again, they look for women like single mothers to take advantage of. And when they get involved with those single mothers, what they do is look to be another kid in the house being taken care of by mommy. And eventually, again, many women, they get tired of being mommy when they have to be mothers to other kids. And they're expecting this man to step up and be a man. But this male knows nothing about being a man, because he is a man in crisis. And he's a man in crisis because he does not have any male life skills. He does not have any male survival skills. And his only way of surviving is to attach himself to a female and not go out here and build anything constructive as a man. And that's, again, why these men are extremely dangerous, because their whole modus operandi is codependency. And when you see a man that you have to take into your house and go out here and have to do things for him, that's a red flag, because when you're dealing with a man does not need to be taken care of. No, he's already set up to take care of himself. And if he can't take care of his own business, then he is not a man you should get involved with. That's a male, and that is not somebody who you need to deal with, because these guys are ticking time bombs. And again, it's a matter of when, not if, these guys go off. And when they go off, it's usually because they get told they're going to be put out of the house. And when they get put out of the house, they get into a nothing to lose situation. And when they get into a nothing to lose situation, they feel justified in either participating in domestic violence or taking your life. So any woman out here, you need to understand that this beta male is not a man that you can bring into your home. He is not somebody you can go out here and fix. He is not somebody who is father or husband material. This beta male is an extremely dangerous individual, because he lives in a rose-colored reality and his world is completely distorted. And once you get involved with this man, he will suck the life out of you, because he just does not want to do anything. Because yes, he'll talk about stuff he wants to do and how he wants to fix things, but he'll never make an effort towards moving himself forward in any way, shape, or form. And that's what makes these guys dangerous to deal with. But any critical thinking man or woman will understand that if he's not taking the lead in his life, you don't need to be following this kind of guy, because he'll take you on the road to failure. And once he's on that road to failure and you're trying to get off that road to failure, he may possibly take your life. Now, again, one of my viewers from Canada sent me this story, and it shows how the man crisis is going global across the West, and it shows us how these males are all over the world and just wreaking havoc everywhere. Because what's really troubling is we're seeing a frequency as related to the increase of this kind of violence, and sadly, many in our governments, they don't really want to acknowledge this man crisis, and they don't want to acknowledge that we have an extremely dysfunctional series of boys being raised out here. Because when you have a guy who thinks he's a sovereign king and then is not capable of taking responsibility for himself like a man, that's really an embarrassment to your country, because these kind of males, they don't build anything, and all they do is tear down the lives of many innocent people. Now, if you want to learn more about what makes these beta males extremely dangerous people to deal with, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make a video request, you can request that video from me by donating to the Cash App, the Patreon, or the PayPal. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Cancel Vacation. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a social justice social media mob looking to cancel her in this all-new E-Steam series adventure. Pre-order E-Steam Cancel Vacation on Amazon.com today.